I guess
that's the way I like it. That makes me rumble. Don't we rumble?
Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Ah, rumble, young man, rumble. Hey, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rumble.
This week on Fight Stuff.
The Easter Bunny delivers an assist in the form of a most excellent beatdown. Alistair Overeem weathered a 4.5-minute storm to get back into the win column at UFC St. Petersburg. And the phenomenon of mascot-on-mascot violence is nothing new to sports, but we take a trip down Jarrett's top 5 mascot fights with a segment we call Mascot Massacre.
I got it all, bro.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, Easter Bunny seems to be wanting to separate this fight.
Or does he?
But quickly.
Or does he? I think he's chosen sides.
No.
He's on the side of the person in black. And he's going for it. Ground and pound from the rear, swinging for the fences, throwing body hooks that have apparently...
And then there's a cop there. There's a cop.
I think the cop may have seen this as mutual combat and let it happen.
I know.
But again, guy with his shirt off still wants to go.
I mean, that's pretty much the extent of the fighty part, I guess. The cop, I love the cop having this exchange with the Easter Bunny. Like, you can see him kind of like having, they keep having words. Hold on.
Yeah.
Easter
Bunny's squaring up again. He wants to go.
Easter Bunny's bobbing and weaving, showing his moves off. Showing his little Philly shell there.
Easter Bunny has some moves, and I'm guessing this is probably the head bouncer that comes up right here, who's just like, get chest bump.
Oh my God.
So I'm guessing this guy that he was this guy that was sitting down, probably instigated the fight by doing something outside of a bar. One of the bouncers probably got involved. Bouncer may have been in trouble. Easter Bunny sees what's happening, goes in for the double team.
I will, of course, give you 2 guesses what state this fight took place in.
Jared, I think I only need one. Is it?
Let me hear it.
For all the money in the world?
Yes, of course.
Florida?
It is Florida, of course. Yes, according to the Palm Beach Post, the whole spontaneous scene was captured on video by an Orlando promoter who goes by Work. That's the word work with 2 extra Ks. I'll let you add up how many Ks end up in that name. An interesting choice for a club promoter, but okay. He says...
Do you mind if what's the race of Work?
Work says African American. Okay,
but he chose 3 Ks.
That's correct. So perhaps it's like a subversion.
Maybe it's taking it back.
Well,
all right.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
He says that the fight started when a man bumped into a woman with dreads, which we do see in the video. There's a woman in black.
Yes.
And she seems to be in this scrum with this guy who, I don't know if he was just there on the street or whatever, but...
I mean, he looks kind of homeless looking, but not full.
He has a...
like maybe recently homeless.
Yeah, sort of like some kind of wanderer, for sure. In the vein of Kwai Chang Caine, perhaps, just wandering.
He has a satchel of powders and he's just wandering the earth.
He looks like it. It says in the article, the Palm Beach Post, the officer on scene broke up the incident and dispersed the parties involved. According to Sergeant David Baker, no arrests or reports were completed.
You know what? I think that's probably one of my favorite parts about this is that when Bike Cop shows up with his bike helmet to break it up, he's kind of like half-heartedly breaking it up.
He's not even upset. He's not rushing in there. No one's getting tased or shot.
He de-escalates it rather effectively. He's just like, okay, you've had your fun, guys, and
I think you're right that the guy in the green with the bandana is probably a bouncer too. He does have the door guy vibes.
The door guy vibes, where he's like, okay, we've had enough, guys. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably not too concerned for the safety of the fighters either, because one of them is the Easter Bunny,
right?
And he's got. I mean, those mascot helmets have a lot of impact zone, I guess you'd say.
Right, yeah, there's plenty of space. Crumple zone, that's it. Yeah. It's famous with car commercials of the 80s where they talked about the crumple zone.
Yeah, they add in this crumple zone so you really can absorb some serious shots. He's probably fine. And his fuzzy hands, his little fuzzy bunny paws, probably soften a little that impact for...
Well, as we learned through bare knuckle fighting, they probably are enough to protect his hands and prevent cuts on his opponent's face. But that's about it.
Yeah, well, what's funny about it, too, is there's something like, because the guy in the bunny suit, I'm sorry, the Easter bunny,
right.
bunny, you know,
Let's
Jesus
not ruin
is
lives
Lord,
or
he is
destroy the
risen,
magic of
right?
Easter.
After hiding the eggs that day, needed a drink apparently. There's something funny about like, it seems performative the way he's fighting. Like he's cartoonishly ground and pounding, like swinging.
Yeah.
And then when they break him up and he's still kind of taunting, you see him bobbing and weaving and shadow boxing a little bit.
I mean, he's not moving poorly.
No.
Like that's the thing. Like I was like, the Easter Bunny trained somewhere at some point.
Well, we're going to return to this subject for the show and tell portion of the show.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Because I do think there's something really remarkable about like something, I don't know, maybe there's just a warrior spirit that comes over you, a sort of performative aspect to your combat.
Once you become a suit actor?
Once you're in the suit. It's very Batman. It's like the suit just makes the man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was it. That's our happy Easter, I guess, everybody. Viral fight of the week.
Oh, so great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, my pleasure. Please lead us on through Sporps. Zeke
Welcome to the Fight Stuff podcast,
right.
everybody.
We always need the welcome. God damn it.
As always, I'm Zeke Rodrigues Thomas.
And I'm Jared Sleeper. As usual, just skipping this portion.
Yeah, we wanted to just bring you in gently.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
11 episodes in.
We're finally
it
figuring it out. So this week in Sporps, we had UFC St. Petersburg, which for those of you who don't know is in Russia. Which, you know, if you were on the West Coast, aired at like 7 a.m. our time.
Dude, that rules.
On ESPN Plus or Fight Pass or whatever it is.
I have fond memories of just World Cups and stuff like that when friends who are into that kind of thing gathering at bars at least 6 in the morning or 9, whatever, all just to have a pint and watch football.
Watch sports, yeah, absolutely. No, it's so much fun. Like I think that's actually one of my more favorite times of the decade of the year, whatever you want to call it, is when either World Cup is happening, or the Olympics.
Totally.
You know, because they want to do it live. Tape delay just for the most part doesn't work in the internet age. And just watching people like being like, let's get up at 4 a.m. because we got to watch Team USA.
Dude,
they don't give a shit about the team the entire year, the other 3.5 years of the between
not.
You know, competitions, but it's like World Cup or the Olympics, we're all in.
Right. Which is like, I'm actually super surprised that, I mean, I think it's only a matter of time that MMA will become an Olympic sport. Don't you think?
Well, sure. I mean, I think jiu-jitsu is going to be the entry level, like the entry drug. What do they call it? The gateway drug.
You know, it would be nice. I mean, do you think it will be jiu-jitsu or will it be like submission grappling or something like that?
It's going to be either
style?
one, and the reason why I say that is because of the lack of striking. You can do a tournament format and still fight, because if you do like, what are you going to do? Straight points in MMA, like Olympic boxing?
How do they do boxing? Yeah.
Well, it's. The style of Olympic boxing is based on points rather than knockouts.
They got the headgear and
it's rare you're ever going to see a knockout in Olympic boxing. But that's also why you see some of the worst decisions in the history of decisions in Olympic boxing.
Dude, you're so right. Yeah, actually, I'm dumb. I didn't think about that. That's why. That's probably the big reason you don't see more striking arts. Like, so probably actually MMA won't ever be an Olympic sport. Even though pancration is dope, if anything, it'll be a weird gloved up version, which won't be the same.
Yeah.
But submission grappling, I could see definitely being a thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like no-gi submission grappling, because when you look at that, like ADCC and stuff like that, they invite people from not just jiu-jitsu backgrounds. Obviously, a lot of the people are jiu-jitsu guys, but it's a ton of like, there's other like wrestlers or sambo guys. And Anyway.
So, I mean, I think that's super fascinating. But anyways, as far as the tape delay, the time difference between here and the West Coast and St. Petersburg, I think our first fight started at 7 a.m. and the main card didn't start until like 10 a.m. So like I got back from training at the gym and it was like, all right, UFC time.
Yeah,
like,
that is
let's
fun.
get into
That
it.
is
So
nice.
it was fun.
Brunch and brutality.
Exactly. Ooh, yeah. Maybe we do a live show.
Brunch, baby.
We could do a Sunday brutality brunch.
Why has nobody done podcast brunch? That's what it is. Our first live shows will be brunches. I think we'll just declare it here and we'll see what happens.
Well, our mutual love of breakfast food certainly doesn't hurt that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe it could be some sort of like, do you remember like Bullshido used to have, like, do you know that website, bullshido.com?
No.
It's kind of like McDojo Life's kind of taken the slot that and maybe, I don't know, might even be some of the same people. I don't know if McDojo Life was a Bullshido member, but Bullshido was the first like call out website. They would do reviews and like whatever on on bullshit martial arts, bullshito, like this idea of just BS martial arts, like the Chi guys and stuff. And then they would have these periodic, because the forums are pretty active, like gatherings basically, which were kind of like open mat sparry kind of days. And usually they were pretty friendly. They weren't like very like challenge matchy, but it was just to go like, a lot of people would do MMA or kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or whatever. And so just a way to get together, try your techniques out, train together. And maybe it could be something like that, like sort of like a fight stuff brutality brunch, like
we could have like almost like a
seminar kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. We'll definitely explore it.
Yeah. But the fight you were going to talk about was this Uberim one. I still say Uberim to this day. I don't know. The Reem as you and the
as I
announcers
put in
say.
the notes. Yeah. Alistair Overeem took on Alexei Olnik or Olenek, depending on how you pronounce it, depending on who's announcing. I love Olenek and his style of fighting so much. I've seen him once or twice on some fights, and what really caught my attention was his ability to submit people with an Ezekiel choke in no gi, but from the guard. So he's on his back and has somebody wrapped up in full guard, and finds a way to sink in an Ezekiel choke, and literally people, because they don't see it coming for the most part, they either tap or they go to sleep.
How many times has he hit that Ezekiel choke?
I've seen it. I've seen him hit it twice in competition, but I think if you look through the notes, he's hit it something like 14 times. But to be fair, his professional record, he's had like 70 or 80 fights.
He's had 70 total fights.
Yeah.
57 wins, 12 losses, 1 draw. 45 of his wins are from submission and 8 from knockout. He's only won by decision 4 times.
See,
what the fuck, dude?
The UFC should have him on every single card if he's healthy. Like, this guy is awesome. He puts
tapped
on a
out
show.
Mark Hunt.
Yeah,
with a rear naked. So he's hit this Ezekiel. I'm just going through looking at his record a little bit.
Yeah,
a ton of times.
Yeah.
Like a ton. There's one run here of 3 fights in a row with the Ezekiel choke he finished. I mean, that is bonkers that you get so good at that, because Ezekiel is not an easy. That makes me want to start working my Ezekiels more, dude.
Well, sure, especially in no gi, it's so tough. I've messed around with it a little bit, and like my arms are just not long enough to hit that shit. Like,
sure, yeah, it is kind of like it is definitely sort of a lengthy, cutty choke. For it says 12 times in MMA competition he's hit this Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Well, the nuttiest thing though is seeing him that he hits it from the bottom too.
Yeah, so when he's in like guard, somebody is mounted him and he's like, don't worry about it, I got you, baby, and finishes that choke with regularity.
Yeah, man, that's bonkers. It's also kind of cool. Like a baseball choke can be like that too. You'll see that there's a lot of highlights you can find online of people hitting baseball chokes in more local grappling tournaments and stuff like that, and even kind of national ones. It's not something you'll see at high level get hit that often.
Yeah,
but you can. I don't know. There's something I definitely have a fondness for those chokes that seem like the guy who's doing the choking is just being destroyed and smothered, and you're like, all of a sudden the guy on top's asleep.
Yeah,
because that is the beautiful dream of jiu-jitsu.
That's the perfect execution, where it's sort of just like, oh, you think I'm in trouble? Don't worry. Yeah.
And also because it is sneaky. I mean, having tapped sometimes to those kind of chokes, that feeling of just being like, oh wait, what's happening here?
Why am I
what is
going to
on?
sleep right now?
I'm supposed to be winning right now.
Yeah, and what's funny too is like in this fight, he wastes no time basically pulling guard and going for that choke right out of the gate, which is a smart thing to do against Overeem, who is a big, powerful striker. They're not sweaty from grappling or moving around all that much, so like, your chance of hitting that is much higher in the first seconds of a fight than if you try using it later on.
Way harder. He does do the setup that he does is sort of interesting, where he places the hand in front first. That seems to be what he looks for first, which usually when you learn in Ezekiel, you learn it the other way around. Right. Also, I would point out too that Ezekiel is typically a gi choke that you're using the sleeve. So hitting it no gi with those gloves on is even more impressive.
Right. Much less from guard too. Like, I mean, there's so many things that just impress me with the way he goes about it.
Right.
And the first time I saw him hit it, I was like, wait, he's not wearing a gi. What? Like, and he's mounted, or like he's in full guard. This is impossible until it's not.
It said that, and he said it in the post-fight interview too, that Reem was like with their former training partners.
Yeah. They really like each other. I don't know if you saw in the beginning of the fight, but they like, when they're like, hey, do you want to touch gloves? They touch gloves and almost like go for an embrace. They're like, guess we're going to do this.
Yeah,
like,
here we go, bud.
They're super respectful to each other. And even in the post-fight too, when they go over, you can tell that these guys really care about each other. And
I do love watching like big heavyweights fight. It's weird. It's like watching dinosaurs fight a little bit. And especially in this one where there doesn't seem like bad blood, it really just felt like an interesting match between two. They respect each other, and they're very much journeymen. They're very much seasoned pros, which I was saying to you before we started recording, that Alistair Overeem is somebody I still think of primarily from like K1 and Pride days, when he was a little bit of a freak show. Like he was obviously roided up and stuff, but definitely part of
Are you talking about the Ubereem days?
The true Ubereem days.
Yeah.
And definitely part of his selling point was this kind of Terminator Adonis quality that he had.
Sure.
Not necessarily just that he was some great fighter or something, but it's kind of cool to see him all these years on have become this like very seasoned, low key. I mean, he's technical. It's not technical the beautiful way you see it in like certain, especially lighter weight fighters, but it is super technical, super chill and efficient. And the way he's hitting that the big knee up the middle and from the side is...
Well, you forget that his Dutch kickboxing background, that's where he came from. So when you see him take that knee up and over, he's been doing that for what, probably 20, 30 years?
Yeah. And that knee up the middle too is super deceptive. It's standing up right under your knee. I think our friend Karate Joe Lusticero, I did like one day I was doing some mitts and stuff with him, and he was demonstrating this knee up the middle into the sternum where you basically just stand up tall and hip in, and it doesn't seem, when you look at it from the outside, it doesn't seem like much, but man, it's like devastating. It just takes up your space, steals your wind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so what's funny about this too is like you can also see in Overeem that like he went in with such a game plan. He's like, all right, I know what he's going to do, so all I have to do defend grappling wise, despite the fact that I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I just have to defend this one choke, which is fine. Because you weren't going to see him use his signature guillotine that he's hit so many times. He's like, fuck that. I'm just going to attack exclusively with knees up the middle because I know exactly what this guy's going to do.
Totally.
And it was pretty remarkable to see him basically dictate the pace of that fight. And he got hit with a couple shots early on.
Yep.
But he utilized that dirty boxing against the cage to set up all these knees. He's like, I'm just going to let you know now. I'm just going to knee the fuck out of you. And you're going to go to sleep. Like,
yeah. And they were like steady. They just kept showing up. These knees kept showing up. Yeah, and you're right that Olenek did clip him at least once pretty decently. There was one, it was that stepping out and got caught on the chin a little bit.
Adjusting the mouth guard one. Yeah, gotta love that. But the other thing that came to mind too, now keep in mind that Overeem hit him with a couple knees from the clinch, probably 2 or 3 in a row in the middle of the cage. Olenek collapses, turtles up. Overeem follows up with a couple more shots, but you can tell that he wasn't trying to hurt him. He's like waiting for the ref to call the fight at that point. He's like, tap, tap. He's like, kind of takes his time, tap, tap, till finally he throws like
they look
a giant
hard,
elbow.
a big giant elbow. And then the
ref is like, come on, do something. And I'm like, I understand what you're doing. You're giving the Russian in Russia a shot, but he's done. He's done. Like,
yeah.
But also, I mean, the other thing that I noticed too was how respectful and quiet the crowd in Russia was. Not only did they cheer for their boy, but they also gave a big like a welcome to Overeem.
Yeah.
And it was very quiet. You could hear the corners like instructions being called out in the first minute of the fight. Like it wasn't full, Japan style or Japanese style MMA where it's like you could hear a pin drop, but it was super quiet. So it's like,
yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, and it wasn't until about midway through the fight when they were like starting to get behind their guy.
Yeah,
so it was there was a lot of interesting stuff going on in that fight.
Love it. You want to do show and tell?
Let's do some show and tell, man. What do you got for me?
All right. Well, so inspired by this Easter Bunny thing, I decided to look up mascot fighting just in general. Turns out, and I think you knew this already, I didn't realize mascot fighting is like a thing. It's like basically like a subgenre of fighting.
Oh yes, yeah. So you know, I've always been a fan of team sports. I grew up loving basketball and the Lakers, and, you know, went to Boston College where we had, what's his name? The Eagle.
You want me to Google it?
Is it like Benson the Eagle? What is it?
Baldwin
the Eagle, obviously. You know, so you see a lot of, at that time, it was like Big East and then eventually ACC matchups against other schools that were in that conference. And specifically at football games and basketball games, Baldwin the Eagle would be there to like lead people in chants and stuff like that. But football, just the sport itself, you know, inspires a more aggressive approach. And I feel like I may have witnessed a fight or two between the mascots.
Really?
And yes, absolutely. And that's when I first really became acquainted with mascot fighting. And of course, throughout sports, mascot on mascot violence is a thing.
Right. So now that I've done a mini dive into finding out about this, it seems there's a good mix of, a lot of them seem to be staged, or they start staged and then quickly
escalate.
Yeah, they very soon start shooting.
Yeah.
So I found 5 videos.
Okay.
I would like to share with you 5 instances of mascot on mascot violence.
Okay.
That seem to be the best of the genre. The first one here is it's a duck and a cougar.
Okay,
right?
is this the Oregon Oregon Ducks?
Yes, this is September 12th,
so
2007. There was an article that was written about this, so it must have been right around that time. It is the Houston Cougar and Oregon's duck mascot.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know anything else about this game?
I don't remember much about this game other than the mascot fight, but I will say that the Oregon Duck has a history of violence.
Really?
Yeah, and it's I think it's actually a source of pride among, you know, the students. But let's see this one unfold.
Let's
since I haven't
watch
seen this one in
clip.
a while.
So we have it starts with just some real shit talking. It looks like the duck's starting it, pushing in the face pushing.
Yeah, clearly the duck is in the cougar territory right now.
Yeah, this duck is looking for trouble. Somebody comes to try to break him up with some security guard.
Now, define security guard. Like,
I mean, they have a walkie-talkie and they're wearing capris.
Yeah, okay.
So then the cougar is doing something at halftime. So they had words, obviously, early in the fight.
May I give you a little bit of context here?
Sure.
So very often in college football, what ends up happening is when you score points, either the student section or the mascots will do push-ups for the number of points that have been scored in totality. So if they're up 14 points, they'll do 14 push-ups.
Oh.
So that's the context for what you were about to
This makes
show.
more sense.
Right.
In the article, it did mention that too, and now I understand what that means. One of the duck's trademarks. So I guess the cougar imitated one of the duck's trademarks. That, like, this push-ups for points is a thing. Obviously, you're telling me that it happens often. I guess the duck in particular does it. And the cougar did it, and the duck did not take kindly, because he comes up, kicks the cougar in the stomach,
in the ribs,
tries to drop
for the
an elbow
people's
on
elbow,
him,
misses.
and then it turns into just a serious ground and pound brawl where this duck is like not messing around. Look at what's funny to me about this.
It's kind of kayfabe, but at the same time, kind of teabaggy at the same time.
Yeah, very disrespectful. Maximum disrespect from this duck. He's kind of humping him. He's kicking over fucking cones. He's doing this very much like the Stone Cold Steve Austin like walk where he's just like doesn't give a fuck. And I'm very taken by the attitude of this.
I think this was in the Attitude Era of the WWE, and this mascot took full advantage of the zeitgeist by embracing all things WWE. And just so we're clear, those weren't cones; those were cheerleading megaphones.
Oh, that's even better. It makes more sense. Yeah, this duck doesn't give a fuck. He is just destroying. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the Easter Bunny thing. Something occurs to me having watched these clips and the Easter Bunny, and maybe there's something in common here. Is that like, this Easter Bunny starts putting on a show. He can't help himself. He or she, the Easter Bunny,
right,
starts, popping jabs, shadowboxing, and be like, let's keep going. And even the way they're fighting has this very funny, like, bow-legged stance and very cartoonish, like
the cartoonish hooks to the head.
Yeah, just barreling these big punches.
They weren't necessarily the hardest punches, and it wasn't like it wasn't like the Easter Bunny's foot was on the gas.
No,
it was
no, no.
kind of like, I'm doing this, but at the same time, like, I'm doing this.
It seems more about making a point, disrespecting you, kind of styling on you a little bit. And I feel like it might be something that just overtakes you when you put on the suit, because this duck is very much in the same vein.
This duck is a showman.
Maybe the Cougars knew, I don't know, but this duck styles on him. I mean, it transitions from fighting sort of knee on belly, just beating up this Cougar, to what looks like daggering, you know, that sort of dance hall style of just kind of humping on the thing.
Dagger.
Very swiftly. Yes. It's quite entertaining. It's very, I can hear the Major Lazer sort of in the background of some of that.
No, it was great.
So I love that one. The next one I thought I would share comes from the 2008 Summer League Championship. And this one's a fast one, so don't blink. Here we go.
Okay. Jaws the Jaguar.
And Eli the Eagle.
Got it. The Jaguar.
The Jaguar. So he's like, they're going for it. He's like got double underhooks from the back. He's trying to suplex him. People are trying to separate him. They successfully do. And this one to me is just like very real and sudden and violent. Like the security guards don't seem happy about that at all.
Like they didn't feel like there was entertainment value in that at all. I think.
Well, so I found more clips of that one.
Okay, maybe another angle.
I think I have.
Because
yeah,
that one is sudden. It's like obviously something happened before that fight that led to the charging with the double underhooks and the suplex attempt.
Yes, what happened apparently was. So this one, you see a little bit more of the rumble going on, where like basically, I guess what the students said happened, and a little bit of background. Who we're looking at here? Okay. So this is the Summit League Championship in 2008, which is only a year after that 2007 clip we just watched. This must have been like a time for mascot fights. And I guess it started as a dance-off between Jaws and Eli. Jaws, of course, Jinx and Jaws the Jaguars are the two mascots for Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, which is a mouthful, but they just say the shortened version is IUPUI. Okay. But that is a school. Yep. And then Eli the Eagle is the mascot for the Golden Eagles from Oral Roberts University.
Oh, well, sirs, already fuck them because of Oral Roberts University. Fuck that place.
What's the story? I don't know.
Oh, if you want to talk
context.
about a haven of conservative Christian bullshit.
Really?
I'm going on the record. Oral Roberts can suck it, and his university.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So IUPUI, the official IUPUI, posted this on their own YouTube channel. Okay. So they've tacitly approved of this beatdown.
So which mascot is the? So is it?
Well, apparently. They say the Eagle misinterpreted an approach by Jaws the Jaguar, and the shoving began.
Okay.
So what happened was that they started in a dance-off that I guess accelerated, and I guess we're blaming it on the Eagle. But soon they're just sprawling, and like they're doing some real wrestling here.
I was about to say, my boy, the Jaguar.
Oh yeah, the Eagle's like trying to get inside.
And brawling. I like it.
And they get in such a big tussle that it looks like Eli the Eagle loses his head quite literally. And then Eli the Eagle, being a total piece of shit after losing his head, and which clearly must be in the mascot world, like that's like you're fucking done, bro.
Yeah, you're out.
If you get your hat knocked off, if somehow a mascot steals your head, I feel like they just took your honor. Like that's
you've been decapitated, basically.
Like that's a wrap.
That's it.
He does not take this loss happily, slams his head back on, comes after the Jaguar again. A human security guard tries to get in the way.
Because at this point, the human security guard's like, okay, guys, clearly we've had enough. Like,
you've had your fun. You shot for the double leg. You got sprawled on. That's it. It's over. You lost your fucking head, dude.
Yeah,
deal with it. But no.
This fucking Eagle.
This fucking Eagle.
Roberts University.
Grabs the security guy trying to step in, starts hustling at him. The Jaguar's like, oh, no, don't you touch that fucking human, dude. And he gets a pretty decent belly-to-back suplex. It gets a little bit messed up, and then just everyone's in it. There's more cheerleaders, more security guards.
But you know what? I like it. I like it a lot.
Dude, I love this
double
one.
Underhooks, like, is just like, I'm going to take you to Suplex City, you bitch.
Yeah, he's fucking going for it. And I think, I don't know, I think it would have ended even worse for the fucking Eagle if they had been able to continue
clearly
dancing.
that Jaguar had some training. Okay, I like probably high school wrestler and sort of like, okay, yeah, we're doing this great. I know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, that's gotta be also like a very tricky. I mean, you're just watching their bodies on autopilot. I doubt the visibility is very good from inside of those noggins.
No. It's like you gotta, when you if you've ever like grappled in the dark. Like
I do sometimes literally close my eyes in jiu-jitsu, not as like a Zen thing. Like sometimes you're just so tired you need to like take a sense away, and you can still grapple pretty well without your eyes.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine having that big old head still would just get in the way and be frustrating.
Sure.
Which perhaps maybe Eli the Eagle's fatal mistake was trying to shoot with that big head. I mean, like everyone's going to be able to sprawl in that
get
head.
in the way. Like,
it's going to make level changing very difficult.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good one.
That's a great fight. I like
that
that
one. I like how honest it seems. I like how like vicious it is. They're just like.
I like how that video doesn't have any of the dance off, which would have been boring as shit. Like.
Okay, so the next one these are like the top 5. I thought like my favorite ones that I watched.
Have these been ranked or where were we?
I found some listicles of a bunch of them and then a bunch on YouTube, and I just picked the ones I liked the most.
Okay, so in no particular order.
Yeah, in no particular order. I think they just were like the most interesting ones. I guess.
Yeah, great pick so far.
This next one, I like just because it's completely insane. So I'm just going to show it to you, and then we'll break it down.
All right, perfect.
Because it is all the fuck over the place. It's about 23 seconds. There's no sound in this one either. They say tiger versus panther, okay? And it starts with a head off. It starts with basically what you're seeing. Again, this also feels real because it's like a whip pan to action already happening.
So, so according to the title, Tiger versus Panther high school mascot. So, all right.
Yes.
So we've left the college ranks and now we're going back to high school.
Right. It seems to be in high school, but I mean, there's no way to fucking prove any of this.
Sure.
This seems like this one could be in another dimension. It's so bizarre.
Okay, great.
So it begins where you're whip panning, and you just get the last moment of a very intense power bomb by a tiger onto, did we say panther? Yeah. Just watch this and tell me if the panther's dead or not.
Oh, God.
Just
the panther looks to have died over the course of that power bomb.
By tiger power bomb. So also I will note, counter to what we just said, I suppose, or maybe caveat to what we just said in the last fight, Tiger does lose his head power bombing Panther.
Okay.
However, I think if you lose your head whilst destroying someone else, then I don't think it counts as a loss of honor as much.
Sure.
It seems more just like you got really into it.
Yeah.
And Tiger's standing there without his head on, just staring. He's staring at the limp body and perhaps thinks the guy's doing an act. So you see him do a nice little, come on. He's like, yeah.
Come on,
like,
bitch. Yeah, that's exactly what is happening.
Yeah, definitely shit talking. And
then he quickly realizes that something could be seriously wrong.
Tapping him on the chest. Are you okay? Checks under the mask, not moving.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, at this point, Spider-Man has been just standing. Standing, observing, doing nothing, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Holy shit, roll it back. Was Spider-Man there the entire time?
Oh, yeah. You didn't notice?
What the fuck is a six?
Seems to say, oh, damn, for a moment. By the way, football players not even paying attention. Glances over a little bit. Cheerleaders not paying attention. Dead Panther.
Spider-Man just hanging out.
Just big cat. Oh! Back from the dead. Panther was playing possum the whole time and ends up, you can see in this last little clip,
grabbing the head of the tiger.
He steals Tiger's head and runs off with it. And then apparently the football game became more interesting. But that's I really fucking love this one just for the fever dream quality that it has.
I didn't see Spider-Man. That got me so good. Because why would Spider-Man be there? Why would Spider-Man be there?
And why would he be doing nothing? I mean, like, he's supposed to protect people. I mean, if anything is going to be in the realm of Spider-Man's responsibilities, it will be fighting giant anthropomorphic big cats.
Right, obviously.
So that's a real good one. That's great. I do love that Tiger vs. Panther.
I just want more. That's the problem with so many of these clips is I just want more context. I want more video.
I wish I knew more. This one only has 18,000 views on YouTube too.
We gotta change that.
I have no fucking idea what's going on. I will say, of the only 4 comments that are on this video, one of them from 11 years ago, which is
when this clip went up,
I suppose when this came up, just says, Justin Chafin is such a chode.
YouTube comments even 11 years ago don't disappoint.
Which makes me think one of these people is got to be the chode known as Justin Chafin.
Yeah, no, obviously. Shout out to Justin Chafin.
Yeah, God bless you, Justin Chafin, for all of your involvement in this insane fucking video, whoever you are.
God,
all right.
So great. Even 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire of comments.
I got a final 2 here. I think this one I picked as the second to last one because it builds off that last one nicely in that it is so fucking insane. It is called on YouTube Mascot Royal Rumble, which I'm going to be honest, doesn't disappoint. Pretty much lives up to that fucking name. It starts with a chicken and an eagle in quite an impressive brawl. It takes place in the stands of this fight here.
Okay.
Punching each other in the stomach, looking for underhooks here, a little dirty boxing.
So this looks like to be one of the military. Is this the Air Force Academy or is this?
I don't know what.
Or
those,
Navy.
It's
probably
Navy. It looks
Yep.
like Navy to me, but it's definitely some cadets watching these this chicken and this eagle fight each other. Eagle loses his head a little bit for a minute, pops it back on, and they're just tussling. Somehow he gets him up on his shoulders, very similar to like an F5 sort of position.
Sure.
But the eagle can't hold the crucifix, and then out of nowhere, Frogman. Okay.
Frogman shows up, and then Gladiator Man
Some kind
shows
of
up.
Spartan gladiator Roman legionary. They try to break up the fight. Chicken takes the Roman legionary's helmet, and it's just total fucking chaos.
And then
out of nowhere,
then a dog,
a beagle, I think, some kind of maybe a bulldog.
I think it's a bulldog.
Decides he's got to come fuck with the fucking Frogman, so they're fighting.
Well, yeah, Frogman has a punchable face, so I get it. He's got sunglasses on. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, that's that one. It's pretty ludicrous. It's just like all over the place. It seems like I don't know. Maybe the dog just saw them from far away and wanted to get in on it. Doesn't realize Frogman's not even part of it. But it's sort of a nice, low-key...
It seems like a friendly sort of wrestling match on some bleachers, which is not a great idea.
Yeah, and I just think this one's nice for kind of how technical it gets. I like the chicken getting up on the eagle's shoulders, almost getting this crucifix, getting tossed.
Sure, I mean, it would have been better if he had worked to get his hooks in or gone for like a seatbelt or something, but...
Yeah. I also like to just think that these are the people who are leading our nation's military.
Yeah, no, that's great.
100%, without a doubt. The graduates of this place go on to be in charge of nuclear weapons.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's important to see them, many years ago when they were drunk at a high school football game.
Somewhere.
To show that they're human.
Some former chicken man who got his ass kicked by an eagle mascot. He's in charge of a nuclear sub.
Yeah.
So feel good about that. All right. Our very final of this little mini walk down what I'm calling Mascot Massacre. This.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank
I like it.
Alliteration. All right. This one I picked as our final one because it just seemed like the highest profile of all of them. It does have a lot of fucking views. It's got 1.7 million views on YouTube. It was published on September 19th, 2010.
Okay. What do we got?
This is, let's just watch it. It was a game between Ohio University and Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which is like a serious rivalry.
Serious rivalry.
Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
And what we're watching when this video starts is Brutus Buckeye, which is Ohio State University.
Yep.
Right. Who is hilariously they describe him literally as an anthropomorphic Buckeye nut. I fucking really enjoy that. Anyway, Ohio University, of course, is the OU Bobcat. All right?
Right.
So we're watching Brutus Buckeye leading what looks like a huge fucking marching band, a big old parade at the beginning of this clip with their flag onto the field.
Okay, so is this halftime? No, this is the beginning of the game. Okay.
A lot of pageantry. Oh, and out of nowhere... Fucking Bobcat is like, I'm not having this shit. Get the fuck off my field. And he comes out of nowhere and tries to tackle and steal the Buckeye Nuts flag quite intensely. People are booing, they're pissed. It's like really definitely jamming up the rhythm of the fucking parade coming out behind him with all these flags and the pageantry, which is quite impressive, except for this awful Bobcat who's like, fuck you. And then he's like trying to rear naked choke this Buckeye and really going for it.
Wow. This is quite the
this.
fight. Look at that.
Meanwhile, football team is taking a knee and like praying and getting ready, and just so disrespectful, this Bobcat.
This fucking Bobcat. Fuck this Bobcat. Have they no honor or respect for the sport?
That's correct, dude. Mascots do not, that's what they deal in, okay? They do not deal in respect or honor. That's what they're here for, is to say, fuck you, apparently, and just piss on your game.
Yo, here's the deal. I'm willing to bet Ohio State kicked the shit out of Ohio in that game.
Yeah.
And that they had no shot even being there other than for the rivalry. And this was the only thing they could do to potentially get in the head of Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember what Ohio State was looking like, in 2010.
Oh, look, here's another angle on it. Brutus Buckeye attacked by Ohio Bobcat. Get us a secondary angle here. Unless this is just something that happens all the time. No, this is the same game for sure.
No, this is the same one. See, there he goes.
He's going for it early. He knew he was going to do it. Look at this, man on a mission. Fucking, this is some Nancy Kerrigan shit.
Yeah.
Just out there, he does lose his head. He has no honor. Buckeye does, of course, taunt him for that a little bit. Bobcat, so pissed off about this loss of honor, this being spurned by the Buckeye, hits him from behind. This cameraman doesn't think the fight continues, so he turns away, only to come back.
And here we are, back in the end zone.
I mean,
with
like,
the back take.
Helicoptering around on the back of the Buckeye. This is so fucking
Here's what's
insane.
fun. Oh, he tried to hit him in the nuts, too.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's for sure a nut punch. Looking for a clean nut punch. Right there. You see
Look at that.
Boom. Impressive.
Wow. Here's what's funny, though. Brutus the Buckeye is sort of like unimpressed by this. He's like, you did all of that, and at no point was I really ever in trouble. And come on.
Out of
get
all
out
that,
of here.
who lost their fucking helmet, Bobcat? Who lost their head? You did. You were the one who was
Fucking Bobcat.
dishonored as a mascot.
Yeah. Get
Anyway.
that trash out of here and take it to Oral Roberts University. You piece of shit.
Yeah, I was quite amused. I think I love this so much. And, dude, if the UFC started just having mascot fights just on the undercard, I would be in.
Dude, if they had like a
Hard.
fight pass. Do you think Fight Pass, since it no longer has the UFC, it'll have like mascot fights?
I mean, can we get in touch with whoever invented X-Arm from last week and be like, we got something for you?
Dude, I think we talked enough shit about Art Davie that I probably can hit him up on Twitter and he'll
It would be
he'll hit me back.
MMA, Mascot Mixed Martial Arts. MMA.
Yeah. It's funny. Some of those guys take some of those trolls super seriously. Like Combate America, like that MMA organization. Mm-hmm. I think I was talking... Who is it? Campbell McLaren, who runs that. He made some stupid post like a couple years ago about, was it Meryl Streep who was like, MMA is so or whatever.
Yeah. Which I will admit, to be the dork that I am, I was annoyed by that. I was like, when Meryl Streep was up there, because I love Meryl Streep and I love
Meryl
acting, all
Streep
this stuff,
too.
and her being like, it's all just going to be MMA if you don't support arts. And I just wanted to be like, it is a fucking art. It is a fucking art. I was like so annoyed
I think
by
everybody who's ever done a martial art is like, it's literally in the name.
I know, which is so funny. It's just funny that like, it's so square of me to be bothered by that. It's so obvious and like embarrassing to be like, well, how Hollywood elite artists? You don't know. It's so silly.
No, it's so dumb to get fired up about it. So of course, what does Campbell McLaren do on Twitter? He bans her from ever coming to a fight.
Oh no!
And I was like, cool, man. Maybe you should offer her some free tickets and see what she's missing.
Exactly.
He proceeds to go off on me on Twitter. Like,
really?
Yeah. And I was
That's
just like,
insane.
Bro, relax. Like,
that's so funny, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole like shitting on coastal elites thing is the most embarrassing. It's so...
Well, she brought it on herself.
She
Hold on.
sure did.
Like,
no, she did. I'm not saying
MMA
she's
did
right.
nothing to Meryl Streep.
MMA did nothing to Meryl Streep. No, it's true. And I wish... I don't know. To me, I'm always trying to just heal the divide between these divides that seem like false. Like one thing I always try to like talk to artists about, at least people who don't seem to understand sports, is I'm just like, you should be so in support of sports, like an enormous, like a Beyonce concert or something, a Lady Gaga concert that has so much resource devoted to this absurd thing, like
to this performance.
Yeah, when you're like, oh, people need homes and medicine, and we just spend all this money on this. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do as a species, is like do absurd, expressive, interesting, creative things.
This is an expression of art and entertainment.
This is what we should devote energy towards. That professional sports are the same thing. It's like the most intense performance art you could do. Like your work of art is yourself, your team and your body and your skills, and then you go out there and express it in this way. That's why
you represent your city. You're a source of pride. I mean, it's all of those things.
It's so much just like pageantry and honesty. And when you talk about like honesty, when you talk about like art, getting to this like real place of art, this like, you know, when people are like, oh, it's a live theater or live music, it's just something you can't capture. I mean, that is what sports are. Yeah. So I'm always like, I'm so bummed when people can't see that, like, the thing they seem to resent about the other side or whatever that they think is stupid and they don't get. I'm like, it's the same thing.
Literally, they go to practice.
Almost,
what do? You go to rehearsal.
Yes, it's rehearsal. It's almost the same. It's almost always the same thing. Yeah. That's become a cue for me. If I hate something initially or a person, if I'm like, I fucking don't like that person, it's the timeline is getting shorter and shorter before I realize, oh, it's because they're so like me.
Yeah. They're pretty much me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's I think that's fight stuff for today. That's a nice tight one, dude.
Yeah, way to go.
Feel good about it.
Yeah. This'll be a lot easier to edit, I think.
If you guys have any clips or ideas that you want us to talk about or fight clips, send it to us at FIGHTSTUFFpodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Instagram at FIGHTSTUFFpodcast. And also, you can follow us individually. I'm at Jarrett_sleeper. And Zeke?
Zeke Thomas is rad.
You can also find Zeke or our stuff, basically, if you need anything from us in the terms of fighting, hosting, podcasting, editing, production, whatever.
ZekeThomas.com. And soon there will be a newly updated mindjammedia.com where you'll have all of your needs. And,
including some merch, I believe.
Yeah, we're getting some merch. And, you know, if you're hearing this anytime this week, you know, we worked on a couple shows over at Nickelodeon. So
yes,
be
indeed.
sure to like, comment, and subscribe on that Annie versus Haley show that I had the pleasure of writing.
Or ideally find a kid that you know and have them watch it. And, you know, I don't know how much crossover audience our show's going to have with Annie versus Haley. Hopefully not too much, TBH.
Are you not a fan of cooking shows?
I love cooking shows.
Do you like cooking competition shows?
I do.
Do you like sibling rivalry?
I do like sibling rivalry.
Do you like a healthy dose of silliness and of revelry?
Well, did I just do a show and tell about mascots fighting each other?
Sure sounds like this show is for you.
Wow, you really sold me on the show that we helped
But of
develop.
course, if you have anybody in the key demographic of somewhere between, we'll say, 8 and 14, then this show is definitely for you.
Blessings upon blessings. All right.
So there it is, fight fans.
Have a good week, y'all, and see you next time.
Fight Stuff is executive produced, edited, and hosted by Jarrett Sleeper and me, Zeke Rodrigues Thomas, for Mind Jam Media. Our awesome theme song is by Jason Scardamari. See you next week, fight fans. Hey guys, this episode's post-show note is less of a correction or an addendum, but actually more of an unpaid endorsement for an incredible drag musical comedy show I had the pleasure of seeing called First Wives Fight Club. It's a mashup of the First Wives Club and Fight Club in drag musical form. Incredible show. Written and directed by Peaches Christ. Some of you, if you're into drag culture, know who that is from RuPaul's Drag Race, among other things. And of course, Ginger Minj, Brooklyn Heights, and a bunch of other incredible drag performers. I wish I knew more about drag culture because I feel like some of the jokes definitely went over my head. But again, this week's unpaid endorsement, go check out this show if it ever comes to your town.